So this is how to get a segmented or piecewise regression. We've got some data, and we talked about this in class. So it came from, I believe that's Penn State. And it's got two warehouses that deal with different size shipments. So you can see in the data it looks really linear in pieces, but not all together. If you were to do something like select the chart and add a trend line, there we go. You'll see that it doesn't fit especially well. So undoing that. What I'd like to do is add separate lines for these two things. And the way to add stuff to your chart that's additional data, subsets of this data, I guess, is to right-click on it and choose Select Data. So if I right-click and choose, or two-finger click, I guess, and choose Select Data, I can add another series. Now this is going to look slightly different on Windows than on Mac, but I think you'll follow just fine. So I'll choose Add here, and I'll tell it what I want to do for this X values and Y values. So if I choose X values here, it lets me select the things I want, and I only want the ones less than 250. So click, hold down the Control, or in my case Command key because it's a Mac, and select More. That lets you select things that are not actually connected to each other. So everything less than 250 I've clicked on. Yes, you could use filters to sort this, but I'm not going to. So this, and once I've got everything selected, I'll say, okay, go back. Do the same thing for the Ys. I will choose the Ys that go with those X's, all the ones less than 250 here, and I've got them right. Then go back. I'm going to give it a name because it makes sense to have a name, and I will call this the less than 250. It's not going to show up anywhere except to identify it to me. And then OK. And now it is added right on top of the first points, this second set. So now if I go to add a trend line, I'll maybe select this. So it's got the orange one selected, and choose trend line. It's only going to make the trend line for that piece, the linear regression for that model. I'll do the same thing for the other set. So all the ones which are more than 250, first I'll tell it to select data, then add a new chart, which I'll call more than 250. For the X values, select the ones that are greater than 250, again holding down the Control or Command key, not what I meant. Okay, so what happens if you screw up? I usually just go back and start it again. I know, be quiet. And just, there we go, try again. I should not talk. I'm doing this, there we go. So I've got those, and then add the Ys that go with those here. And once I've got them all in, just say do that. It should give me yet another color, which covers up the first one. It's nice to see. Click on that, add chart element, trend line, linear. You can see a nice line there. Now it's also nice to see these equations, and to get those to show up, if you choose format, click on something in format. So I've got format plot area. Over here you get a whole big pane full of stuff. If I click on that line and choose one of these, I think it's this one, display equation on the chart. Same thing there, click on this line and display equation on the chart. And you can see the equations for those two separate pieces, and you can drag them where it's useful to you. You can, if you choose, also show the R squared for that. I have to click on the right thing. If you'd like to see the R squared. I wished it would show the correlation coefficient, but of course, we do not always get what we want with Microsoft. So they're both quite strong fits, and therefore this is probably fake data. I hope that was useful to you.